Hi, I'm Elizabeth Ryan, reporting from the NAEM Forum in Indianapolis. I'm standing here with Steve Ramsey, Senior Visiting Fellow at the Yale School of Forestry and the Environment. Steve, you just organized a panel discussion among senior vice presidents of sustainability at Alcoa and Boeing and other companies, and you had a really fascinating discussion around what it really takes to implement sustainability within a big company. Can you kind of give us some of the highlights from your presentation and some of the things that you think people should understand around the operational side of this challenge?
I'm delighted to, Elizabeth. I think there are several sort of lessons you can extract from this. The first is that sustainability management and understanding what sustainability means in a company context is still in its infancy. The UN Global Compact is only a decade old. The real focus on sustainability is, I think, on the upswing, and it's I believe, a mega trend that we will see more and more and more of. But still, most companies are trying to figure out how to manage and how to deal with sustainability issues.
One of the things that you said twice, I think, in your presentation was, if you can't operationalize it, you simply can't do it.
I believe that's right. The leader of sustainability, the leader of health, safety, and environment, the leader of human resources, those people are leaders of an overall approach and overall initiative. If the operational level people can't do sustainability, don't believe in it, don't support it, if there's not leadership support at the top to drive it, if it's not measured, all the environmental health and safety people in the world or sustainability professionals in the world can't make it happen inside a company.
Now, you yourself are responsible for having brought a lot of changes to General Electric when you worked for Jack Welch. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience and what you were able to accomplish by working in collaboration with GE's leadership?
Sure. I worked for Jack for 12 years, and I worked for Jeff Immelt for almost 10. And both of them were visionary leaders. Jack hired me to deal with the company's environmental issues. We worked together to come up with a program that did operationalize environmental health and safety at the General Electric Company. And the differentiators were plant manager training, where we required all of our facility managers and service managers to come to an in-person 2-day training session. We came up with an early red, yellow, green metrics chart that went to everybody in the company on a quarterly basis, just like our financials. And we did something called Session E, which was me, the head of the business, all the plant managers in the same room on the same day, talking about how they'd done during the last year on their environmental health and safety programs. And it really drove ownership and accountability, and it really raised what I would call the literacy rate for environmental health and safety amongst the operational people.
What you just described is really developing a corporate culture that values environmental health and safety compliance, and then perhaps lays the platform from going beyond that. Yet when we presented, I don't recall, I think it was a McKinsey study, corporate values were very low, perhaps one of the last on the list of the drivers for sustainability. Corporate reputation and marketing seemed to be more important. Can you talk to me a little bit about that disconnect?
Well, I think we see a lot of that. I think the marketing functions frequently and the reputational parts of companies want to appear to be as good as they can. And sometimes the desire for appearance lags the infrastructure for performance. And I think we've seen many examples of that in the corporate world. And I think at this point, it's a further evidence that companies are trying to figure out, what does sustainability mean for my company? How are we going to manage it? Is it only a marketing strategy? Is it the flavor of the month, which I don't think people think it is? You have to really go all the way down into the operational levels, which is I think where it needs to be. And I also have to say, based on my experience, where I think it's headed.
One of the things you also pointed out, which got I think a round of applause from our audience, was that it's very difficult to achieve even basic compliance. Not to say impossible, because obviously many companies and most companies are doing it, but I don't think that perhaps the outside world fully understands what exactly it takes to make sure that you even remain in basic compliance, much less go beyond it.
I agree with that. I think sometimes environmental health and safety people and compliance people are the victims of their own success. If nothing bad has happened in a while, everybody assumes, well, we've got that licked, we can start to cut headcount, we can start to reduce budgets, we can start the way that we change the way we used to do things. And when that happens, frequently companies get into trouble. I think both the government and senior management dramatically underestimates how difficult it is to put these programs together and then drive them through the culture.
Thank you so much for taking the time to discuss this with us.
Thank you very much.